Unfortunately, Susanna couldn't make it today. She's stuck in Canberra, so she's the co-presenter. So we're doing it solo today, so you're stuck with me. So. Good. As Joseph said, we're looking at the music of Momar Gaye, but we're actually going to come through time and space to get there. We're going to take a little journey through space and time. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be a little bit different. We're looking at some clips, some historic clips as well as some more recent clips, and looking at the transnational politics and transcultural practices of reggae in Italy. And there is reggae in Italy. You might not have known that, yes, but it does. It does exist. So just quickly to introduce Momar Gaye, he migrated to Sardinia in the year 2000, so he's been living there for around 18 years. And he migrated via France from Senegal through France, and he's actually married to a local Sarda, a woman, and they have a son together. He's also the Presidente della Commissione Culturale della Comunità Senegalese in Sardinia, and the community is approximately 4,000. So he organises cultural activities, tries to work through music to engage as a means of integration, as a vehicle of integration, and this quote really indicates that, and I'll show you the clip that this is taken from in a sé. La musica è un linguaggio universale, this is Momar speaking, e attraverso la musica si apre una porta per scoprire un mondo. So the music working as a bridge, as a doorway to bridge to world, or to open up a new cultural dimension, and that process of cultural exchange. So I'm just going to show you a brief clip which was taken from television.
Allora, io sono arrivato in Italia per caso, principalmente in Sardegna perché prima ero in Francia, devo venire in Italia perché per problemi magari legati alla famiglia, eccetera. L'unico parente che avevo in Italia stava in Sardegna.
Rispetto alla Francia, dico, ti si precludevano delle opportunità comunque, perché la scelta di venire a vivere in Sardegna rispetto alla Francia per un musicista è un po' più castrante.
Infatti. Quindi è stata una scelta un po' dura, però obbligata. Dico che c'è sempre, per quelli che arrivano, c'è un blocco, no? Perché io credo che uno che arriva in un paese straniero debba aprirsi, debba far vedere chi è, perché c'è sempre quella diffidenza, no? Facciamo degli interventi ovviamente culturali perché pensiamo che la prima via per l'integrazione sia attraverso la musica, attraverso magari anche la cucina. Quindi organizziamo...
sono dei volani per integrare questo.
Assolutamente, perché sono il primo contatto, possiamo dire, capito? Perché la musica è un linguaggio universale e attraverso la musica si apre una porta per scoprire un mondo.
So this process of transcultural exchange and intercultural dialogue has been happening for a long time with reggae, obviously. Through the diaspora in the UK, migration of Afro-Caribbean community there, and we have the examples not only in the late 70s but from the early 60s, the late 60s. We have the skinhead movement, those cultural exchanges going through music with white working class Brits and working class Afro-Caribbean youth. But then in the late 70s we have obviously those iconic examples, the Clash covering Junior Murvin's Police and Thieves, the Rock Against Racism movement, where we see this alliance between punks and rastas to come together in opposition to the rise of the National Front, the two-tone movement which emerged out of the Rock Against Racism movement, and the Specials being the foundational band there, based in Coventry, an integrated band. Bob Marley paying homage to these cultural exchanges between punks and rastas in Punky Reggae Party in 1977. And then we have the Police's take on reggae, Regata de Blanc, which is a pseudo-translation of white reggae. But interestingly, around the same time, in the late 70s, we also have the first examples of reggae all'italiana. And these are sort of experimentations with the rhythms of reggae without delving into its politics. So we have Lucio Dalla, this cantautore, Lucio Dalla with Disperato Erotico Stomp, the socio-political critique of Rino Gaetano with Non te regga più in 1978, Ivano Fossati with Limonata e Zanzare, And then the iconic example with Loredana Bertin, the eclectic singer, with Ella Luna Busso, which was the closest rhythmically to the Jamaican version, or perhaps even the British Jamaican version, although the lyrics are quite abstract and no one exactly knows what they're talking about, quite existential. But she said she was influenced by Bob Marley, and we see these processes of the internationalisation of reggae through iconic figures such as Bob Marley, but then also the proximity of Britain and what was happening there with those cultural exchanges happening. But then also in 1979 and 1980, Jamaica comes to Italy, where the two greatest icons of reggae at the time, Peter Tosh and Bob Marley, tour. And Peter Tosh touring in 1979 and 1980, and actually making an appearance on Rai Due, I think multiple appearances. In 1980, you'll see some of that. Political appearance, no less, and also that historic concert at San Siro in Milan, with around 100,000 young people converging from all around Italy to watch the legend in action. And interestingly, that was one of the first concerts after that stasis, that enforced ban on concerts due to the conflict, the political conflict that was taking place with the autori ruttori. And so it was a seminal event, but also was kind of at the end of the youth movement. So when they were starting to die down, we went into a new phase in the 1980s, often referred to as the riflusso, but we see new cultural politics through music emerging in the 1980s. So here's another clip. Okay, so we start with Loredana Bertin. Just remember this because it comes back at the end of the presentation. Peter Tosh, Bush Doctor, the song, smoking on national television. How political is that? That's 1980. He's miming, they couldn't do live.
Il concerto di San Siro per me è
Bob Marley
un ricordo meraviglioso, perché è stato un pomeriggio caldo, assolato, pieno di gente, pieno di voglia di stare tranquilli. La folla era così coinvolta che era altrettanto importante quanto Bob Marley.
So this was a similar event in leading to local Italian reggae scenes from the early 80s as well. A lot of those people, foundational members of the earlier reggae scenes, went to this concert and were inspired by the performance. And Antonello Venditti also did a track, Piero Cinzia, which was a take on No Woman No Cry, which was performed at this concert.
Quando l'ho visto, la comunicazione che ho avuto maggiore è che ha collegato moltissime persone di tipi diversi. C'era un filo conduttore che era liberatorio ma allo stesso momento di presenza assoluta. E quindi vuol dire che come se avesse toccato qualcosa che apparteneva a tutti noi.
Okay, I'll just pause it there because we need to go back to the slides for a bit. Okay, so in the 1980s, we see further examples of transcultural exchange through Afro-Caribbean migrants coming to Italy. This is a little known example, Papa Winnie, who actually migrated to Milan in the early 80s and set up a band. One of the first reggae bands in Italy was a bit of a pop reggae band with local musicians called Irie, and he was from St Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean. He also married an Italian woman later in that decade and had 2 children, 2 daughters, who still live in Milan. And he's released a couple of records with Milanese or Italian labels at the end of the 80s. So I'll show you him in action in a minute. Then, of course, we have Soul Boy, who was born in Barbados, migrated via London to Milan, but then Bologna. And he was a founding member of one of the historic hip-hop crews in Italy, Radical Stuff, which was a multi-ethnic crew. And also he became this cultural figure, this cultural authority at one of the most influential centri sociali in the Posse era, based in Bologna, Isola nel Cantiere. And this is a quote from Demo from Isola Posse All Stars, which was the resident posse from Isola nel Cantiere. Soul Boy is the godfather of hip-hop in Italy. He taught us everything about style, flows, diversity, and the art of rocking a party. So I'm going to show you Papa Winnie and Soul Boy in action. This is, again, on television, Mediaset. Made it on Mediaset. In Verona. Dedication to his Italian wife, with some toasting, mix of patois and Italian. This is Soul Boy. Let's get dizzy. Quite radical stuff. Sort of a bit of patois hip-hop delivery. Okay, so if we're coming back to reggae, and reggae coming full circle from diaspora back to Africa, and we have the historic examples of Fire in Soweto, Sonny Osukun from Nigeria, Bob Marley's seminal Survival album with his Pan-Africanism in full effect, Mama Africa by Peter Tosh, but then the first African reggae album, Alpha Blondy from Cote d'Ivoire in 1982, and of course Lucky Dube's first LP, Rastas Never Dies. Sick. But then Momar Gaye, obviously influenced by icons such as Peter Tosh and Bob Marley, doing tributes to the legend, and also his album Exodus, named in honour of Bob Marley's, one of Bob Marley's most famous albums. So this is a quote from the website for Zaman, because Momar Gaye is a member of a band called Zaman, which is a project he initiated in Senegal and then brought to Sardinia. And the quote is here: "Gli Zaman sono uno dei migliori esempi di musica e integrazione presenti nel panorama italiano. Un mix sonoro con il reggae come colonna portante, ma con diversi e fondamentali accenti che toccano il pop mbalax, which is a Senegalese form, funk, rock, e tanti altri generi." So he sings in a mixture of Wolof, French, English, and patois, which reflects the connection to the colonial history of Senegal, but also the diasporic processes through reggae, patois, Jamaican patois, and English. And so he communicates really through his message, which is often political, but also about entertainment, connection, cultural connection, his dance, his movement, and audience participation. He's also set up a sound system with some local veteran DJs in Cagliari. And he's also worked as a solo artist and going beyond Afro reggae to touch interrelated genres such as hip hop and dubstep. So I'm going to show you a montage of Momar Gaye in action, and this is the last clip we've got here. Yeah, okay. Originally a Cameroonian song, and popularised Shakira did a famous version. This was before his version, before the Shakira version. Very popular in Colombia as well. This song, very Colombian music. So performing it live in Cagliari, you can see the audience participation. The Sardinian flags up everywhere. This is in Woodhouse. With the Sardinian artist Randagio Sardu, it's a combination. And Randagio Sardu is, he calls himself a ragamuffin artist, so a mixture of rap and Jamaican ragamuffin. This mixes will pull off French and English.
You're my boy! Get up every day and try to fight for your survival in this world full of negativity and envy. Momar Gaye, you're positive and have your money around you and never be afraid of anything. Never let me run it and go. Pick up your center and say, look around and see your road. Up to fight, let's have the fire.
Most of his film clips are shot in Sardinia.
Push up your light, hey. You will always be people's right to extinguish your flame. Don't get tired, put the fool to take you out of here. Pretend to be your friend, now you're weakness. Watch out for the plans. Wake up to back when we're at your corner, your way. Pick up yourself, let me say. Look around and see your road. Up to fight, let's have the fire. Exodus, I want the people to be free. Free to move and take your scenery.
migration. And coming back to La Luna Busso, it's a dubstep version. But Spedicati, who's a singer from Italia. Okay, and that's it, really. That's all I've got for you today. Although I'll just put up the slide here. There is a book coming out hopefully later in the year, and Susanna is a co-author, and it looks at reggae and hip-hop in southern Italy, but particularly looking at Sardinia and Puglia. Okay, so anyway, thanks for listening.